just you and me forever.
Do you take this woman as your lawful wedded wife?
Ooh, yeah! Oh, no.
Place the ring on her finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
Hello and welcome to With This Ring, episode 67. I'm your co-host Ryan Everett.
I'm your co-host Cindy Everett.
And tonight we will be doing Backlash 2000.
The pay-per-view after WrestleMania.
Yes.
Called Backlash.
That will be coming out shortly after WrestleMania this year due to WWF wanting to do Vegas on Easter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we talked about this a little bit, but is WrestleMania usually like the first weekend in April? Was there like a set time up until this year?
It wasn't really set. It was always kind of either the last week in March, first week in April, kind of dependent on when Easter was, because they wouldn't do it on Easter, but they would do it on like Palm Sunday.
Got it. Until this year when... Yeah, that's the tough thing with the spring. The holidays always change. The weather's always over the place. You can't ever really lock in certain things.
No.
So... All right, but anyways, Backlash.
Yes. So, but before we get to Backlash, lot happening.
Yes, I said very McMahon heavy.
Yeah, lots of. So after WrestleMania, Vince just kind of says he turned on The Rock because he hates the people. So not a great explanation. And he wanted to put the family back together. So they're into their reign of terror now. Triple H as champ, and Vince and Shane and Stephanie all running things
around, yeah. And Linda doesn't really show up too often. She just
kind of comes in when you need someone to overrule them.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's kind of her role for the next couple months.
Okay.
Because acting is not her strong suit. She's got quite a few things that aren't strong suits actually. But we won't get into all that.
Yeah, one of them being acting.
Yes. Her acting is bad.
Yes. Okay. But yeah, very McMahon heavy. Kurt Angle, it's fun to watch him kind of grow, and he has his three eyes.
Yes.
And then he also wants to trying to talk about abstinence.
Yeah, he was trying to preach abstinence at Penn State, and then the Big Show came in with his free condoms for everyone.
Right. Big Show's kind of emerging as the comedic character.
Yeah, the Big Show's been doing his different dress-ups, and now he's mad with Kurt Angle because of the condom incident, so they're going to have a match at Backlash.
Yep.
And then also we had a nice Triple H versus Taka Michinoku match.
Yeah, what was that about?
So they kind of did a thing where he just said, like, I'll wrestle anyone who's a former champ, and Taka Michinoku is a former light heavyweight champ.
Yeah, it's a little disproportionate.
So, but they have, like, a fun underdog match because the acolytes come out and get involved. Yeah. So you kind of think maybe they do something crazy like give Taka the belt for a night and have Triple H kill him later.
Yeah, not so much. Yeah, Jericho's over. People are like losing their minds, and he's fighting Triple H. Yeah, I guess it kind of goes hand in hand. If it's McMahon heavy, it's gonna be Triple H heavy.
Yeah, and I mean he is the heel world champ, so he's gonna be on it.
Yes, he is
a lot. That's just how it goes.
And then Earl Hebner starts feuding with Triple H.
Yes.
Why did they decide to push Earl Hebner into a storyline?
I think they just kind of... Like, this is kind of like a classic wrestling trope, like when refs get involved. So I think they just wanted to do this, and it was an easy guy to get over. Like, people liked him and stuff. And he did almost die 2 years before, so maybe they wanted to... Yeah, he had like a brain aneurysm or something.
Oh, okay.
So I think maybe they just wanted to let him have like a... Little moment.
Okay. Oh yeah, Linda announces that Steve Austin's going to come. We'll talk about first.
First we have ahead of myself. We have Chris Jericho versus.
We watched a lot of lead up.
Chris Jericho versus Triple H.
Right.
For the world title on Raw, and Chris Jericho wins. Mm-hmm. But then Triple H makes Earl Hebner reverse the decision.
That's right.
And then fires him anyways as a referee. Mm-hmm. So Chris Jericho has to give the belt back, and it ended up just being, it doesn't count officially, but he was world champ for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Siri is listening.
Siri is talking, but No need to.
She wants to know.
So then also we had the Tazz situation.
Yeah, so you went back to ECW?
Yeah,
so... What was that about?
First off, in WCW, they were getting, like, super desperate again. So they put Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff together.
Oh, jeez.
And they took a week off of Nitro, like, reset everything. And one of their first Nitro, one of the big surprises they had was Mike Awesome, who was the ECW champ, showed up on Nitro.
Okay.
And got involved. So then Mike Awesome still was the ECW champ, so he had to wrestle at a house show in Hammond, Indiana, actually. And they decided, like, if he's a WCW guy, we'll have a guy who left for the WWF, but who did it the right way, where he gave his notice and like lost everyone on the way out. So Tazz came out and won the belt in like 30 seconds.
Yeah. I'm still kind of confused about like the whole ECW thing.
Yeah, so they were definitely the third promotion at this point, but they were like, there was no doubt that they were the third group because they had pay-per-view stuff.
They're like the Dr. Pepper, right? Yeah, Pepsi, Coca-Cola,
exactly.
Dr.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does.
It does. No,
You're saying it kind of dismissively.
Yeah, a little bit at first, but thinking about it, it works.
Yeah, but the Dr. Pepper.
Yes, so, but they were always kind of loose, not aligned with WWF, but had more of a working agreement with WWF where
Gotcha.
If like the WWF was going to sign a guy, they'd let him like finish out his storyline and stuff, where if WCW did, they'd try and like get him to show up right away.
Gotcha.
Like Steve Austin and Mick Foley were signed with WWF, but still did like months worth of ECW work.
Gotcha. Okay, so they kind of acknowledged a little bit of the feeder, but it's like a mutual relationship.
Yeah.
So they let Tazz come back and win.
And then he loses it the next week, but
Triple H, yeah.
Well, first, he loses a match to Triple H, and then they have that Saturday as a match in ECW where he loses the belt to Tommy Dreamer.
Gotcha. Yeah, so he fights. I didn't say his name, but when Tazz fights Triple H, I said another ECW guy comes out and interferes.
Yes, Tommy Dreamer. Yeah,
Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, and it did work out though. That like crazy that the calendar worked out this way because they didn't plan. I mean, these arenas were booked months in advance, but that SmackDown being in Philadelphia like helped it a lot because Philadelphia is where ECW is from. So any wrestling show in Philadelphia at this point is going to have a bunch of ECW fans. So
gotcha. No,
it worked a lot better there than like if it was in Sacramento or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's probably. I mean, if they weren't in Philly, I don't know if they would have even done that match. They might have had them like wrestle a hardcore title match, but being in Philly and they have Rock vs. Jericho later.
Yeah.
They knew both of those matches would be pretty hot.
Big in Philly. Got it. That was the Lumberjack match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lumberjack. And then they put both of them through tables.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're getting into our table era.
Yep. The Dudleys are getting to the point where every show they're going to put someone
through a table. It seems to be their thing.
And then also throughout this build, we have the emergence of Latino Heat.
Oh, I love Latino Heat.
It is just...
They're a great couple.
They are a very good couple. We see Eddie studying sponges to get his GED, yes.
Yeah.
And then he passed, so he gets to go to prom.
Yes.
For some reason, he gets to go to the prom in Washington, D.C. because that's where Backlash is.
Well, yeah, so he's in his top. We'll get to that in the show. But they had good rapport. I mean,
and they had the backstage scenes where Eddie was trying the different tuxes on, including the T-shirt.
Right. Yeah.
The suit.
And trying to get her different evening gowns. Yeah, because like she's not great on camera. Like this is definitely her best character. She like jives with him the best. Versus like what
because I think most of the time she's just trying not to laugh.
Yeah, well,
because he is just
he's laying he is laying
as hard as possible.
So, but no, that's good comic. Between that and the Big Show, there's some good
some good hijinks.
Yes,
Kurt Angle also.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Comments.
Good hijinks. That's a good way of phrasing it.
So that I think brings us to the show. Whoa! Well, there's one thing. So Trish Stratus.
Oh yeah.
The table segments.
That's right. I forgot.
So I was thinking about this and I looked it up.
Okay.
that year, 2000, we had an even later Easter than we had this year.
Really?
It was April 23rd.
Oh, wow.
Because I thought so because Nick and Matt stayed over at my house that night of that Raw.
Okay.
And we had some jokes about Trish Stratus throughout the night, as
I'm
you can
sure
imagine.
you did, yes.
Yes. So Trish has 4 videos in lingerie.
Yeah, about like wood. I always see the insinuations are heavy on wood and
tables and legs.
Yeah, and rubbing wood and yada yada. Why? So what are they setting up here?
So Bubba Ray likes putting women through tables. He's been trying to put Trish through a table for a while now, but there's been a few times where she's kissed him to escape.
Okay.
So it's kind of now like...
You know it's coming. Now it's like, you know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's... I did put my notes later. Like, she's definitely the only, like, redeeming quality of TNA.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
oh, yeah. That's a well-known fact.
The 2 scrubs she's with aren't really...
No, Test has fallen very far down.
He really has. Was he supposed to be like a Triple H character?
I think he was... I think that's a big problem to someone in charge, is that he looked a lot like Triple H.
Oh,
kind
of.
Long blonde hair, muscular.
Well,
so
obviously muscular.
Someone might not have liked that too much.
Right. So, got it.
And I mean, long term, you got to say it was a good plan.
Yeah, it worked out
for him.
What's Tess doing these days?
Oh, he didn't make it.
Oh,
he died real young.
Oh, really?
2009, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Okay, well, I'll stop making jokes about him then.
Yeah, I mean, he's still not... Doesn't make him a good wrestler.
Yeah. You shouldn't.
Right.
Shouldn't speak ill of the dead.
Right.
Okay. I will speak highly of Eddie Guerrero.
Yes. So that brings us, I think, to the show. Pretty much.
Yeah. What else did I have?
Pre-show notes.
Did we talk about how Linda slapped Stephanie?
Oh, yeah. So it was on the same Raw with the Jericho title overturned. Then Linda comes out and says that since Triple H will have Vince McMahon in his corner at Backlash, that she thinks The Rock should have Steve Austin in his corner. So then Stephanie comes out and goes to slap her again, but this time Linda blocks it and slaps her. Then Triple H goes to pedigree Linda, and then Shane McMahon starts punching them.
Yeah.
And then Stephanie slaps both of them, and that kind of,
like I said,
calms everything down.
Heavy McMahon.
Yeah.
But anyways.
All right, so we go to the MCI Center.
Yes.
In Washington, D.C.
Oh, sorry, Washington, D.C., not Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philly was the show before, the SmackDown before.
Gotcha.
So our first match was Christian and Edge versus the Road Dogg and X-Pac. And it's kind of... Christian and Edge have kind of been like...
That's basically the openers. They thought they'd be higher.
Yeah, I think there's just kind of like... They're doing it as like a big time title match to start the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that's their logic. And Christian, they're like starting to get more of a personality, but it's not clear yet. It kind of... The next couple of weeks they come out even more so than what they were doing.
Gotcha. And I was kind of curious when I was taking notes, like how much longer for the Road Dogg and X-Pac? Because they're starting to...
Yeah, they're getting pretty long. Yeah, they are getting long in the tooth. They do stick around for a while, though.
Oh, really?
One longer than the other.
Gotcha. Because they're... I mean, D-Generation X is like... Everyone else has moved on except them.
Yeah, they're fine, like, to have them and Triple H in like a 6-man tag match on SmackDown.
Right.
But the pay-per-view matches, are not. They're like heavily featured the next 2 months, actually.
Oh gosh. What happened to Billy Gunn again?
He had a rotator cuff in February, and they've kind of just slipped X-Pac in with Road Dogg, and a lot of the times Jim Ross is making it sound like they were always the team. Like he calls them like one of the most decorated teams in WWF history, and they were never tag champs, so they're not decorated.
No. Okay. Well, he's Jim Ross is very enthusiastic.
Yes, he is. He is.
Gotcha. So yeah, I think a lot of these they wrote a little long. They wrote a little long for this one, but yeah, good energy, right? I guess it was a good starter.
Yeah.
It's gonna hook you right away. Well, Edge and Christian are hooking me right away, not so much Dog and
but
X-Pac.
They do. Edge and Christian do cheat to win using the ring bell and actually opening up X-Pac with
he was bleeding like
blood.
Crazy.
Oh, also to start the show, we had Deborah come out
and
announce this match, and she
sounds drunk.
I think.
Yeah, she seems out of it. Something's going on with her.
I think she might have had one too many wine coolers waiting with Steve Austin in the back. And
she's doing her Bob Dylan voice.
Yeah. Yeah, Christian.
Yeah, it wasn't really a good look.
No.
Did they explain why she was there? Just kind of
no, but they didn't. I think they kind of wanted her to be the guest ring announcer, but then they kind of ushered her to the back after this match.
No. Yeah, they probably quickly realized that would not be a good choice.
Right. So next, for the first time in quite a while, the light heavyweight title is featured.
Oh yeah.
So it had been. Let me see. We're in 2000. S.A. Rio showed up. Although first, Gilbert was still the light heavyweight champ. And he lost it to Crash Holly. Crash Holly lost it to S.A. Rios, who is this luchador who just kind of showed up, which we'll see him later. Mm-hmm. And then he lost it to Dean Malenko. And Malenko is like a multi-time cruiserweight champ in WCW, so this was kind of his
jam.
Yeah.
When did they change it from light heavyweight to cruiserweight?
Well, this is light heavyweight still.
Okay.
WCW always used cruiserweight.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, light heavyweight
doesn't make any
sounds
sense.
bad.
Yeah. It's a good oxymoron. So, but anyways, I liked it at first. I like the high flying, more the acrobatic stuff. But then it started to get a little long. I put too long at the end.
Yeah.
Dean wins. Scotty does his worm, and it's fine. But this one didn't really grab me either.
I liked it because it was still like one of the first times they had a light heavyweight match that like kind of matched the WCW version, and I always loved the finisher, just the DDT off the top rope.
Yeah, that's true. That was good.
Yeah, it was a little bit longer than I remembered. I thought it was a little quicker.
12 minutes almost.
Yeah, it probably could have been 10 minutes and just cut out a little bit of the
that was
leg work.
Right. The Edge Christian match was 8:37. This was like a full 3 minutes longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have tightened that one up.
And then, speaking of matches that could have been cut for time, because this goes the same amount as the opener.
Really? The
8:37
one?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So Bull Buchanan and the Big Boss Man defeat the APA, who, I mean, the APA had gotten over as like main event level faces almost, and then they're here jobbing to the Big Boss Man and Bull Buchanan.
Yeah, not great.
Not a good match.
Yeah, I said nobody cares.
No.
Blah.
Yeah.
There always going to be a couple lower points, so.
Yeah. And then, so next we have a 6-pack hardcore match for the hardcore title. Mm-hmm. So this one is different from WrestleMania. This is just the first person to get a win is the champ.
Okay, yeah, good. That's a lot easier to follow than the.
So Crash Holly, who is the champ, there had been both of the Hardys had won it on the Raw before, and then Crash Holly won it back before the match. So that's like how they kind of found themselves in it. So it's Crash Holly against Hardcore Holly, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Perry Saturn, and Tazz.
Yeah, it was quite the crowd.
Yes.
So let's also talk about the intro,
the swinging hooks.
Is like it was a hook swinging, and
the big meat cleavers.
Yeah, then they had the big meat cleavers on the set.
Yeah,
and of course they kind of all run over there right away.
And Jeff Hardy climbs it and does it like a moonsault off of the.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The scaffolding, as he was wont to do.
Yeah, those Hardys have no fear.
Yeah, that's true, especially at this point.
Yeah, they really just go for it. But yeah, I mean, you got to use the hooks. You're going to have these hooks swinging. You got
and him and the Hardys wrestle a hardcore match.
Right, I mean, that's just kind of.
It'd be one thing if they were wrestling Edge and Christian, it'd kind of be him fisted to get him out there, but in this match,
it lends itself to that situation.
Yeah.
Crash wins.
Yep.
By covering Tazz.
Kind of, yeah.
And I said the Hardys carried the match.
Yeah, because they got like a ladder involved and all their goodies.
The ladder, yep. All their gimmicks.
Oh yeah. And they're definitely the most over act in this match, for sure.
Yeah, poor Tazz. I don't really care about the Hardys or Dean. Who's the Saturn guy again?
Saturn, he's the least Saturn? Of the radicals. Yeah, Perry Saturn.
Okay, well, you can keep them. The Hardys are definitely the ones doing the work here.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
And speaking of doing the work, next we have Kurt Angle come out.
Yes.
Get a great promo about Marion Barry, the crack-smoking mayor.
Yes, DC.
And then Real American hits.
Yes.
And out comes the showster.
Yes.
And what did you think?
It was funny.
Yeah.
He did a good impression.
Yeah, he definitely had like the
ball cap
mannerisms on, and even the promo sounds like
Yeah.
It sounds like someone doing a Hulk Hogan impression, but
that's what it was.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, that was really funny. So what other?
And they thought they were going to do like right away. It's a big boot and a leg drop, and then Kurt Angle kicks out. It would have been funny if he had won with that.
Right. Yeah, again, his whole getup.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quick. The Big Show wins. So they were feuding, or just over the abstinence stuff.
Yeah, it was just kind of a quick feud.
Yeah, but no, that was good.
Yeah, and like sometimes it's like, oh, that loss killed him, but like losing in 2 minutes of the Big Show doesn't really hurt Kurt Angle because he'll be able to talk over it.
Right. Oh yeah, he needs to like start wearing a cup or something because you can always see like his dick print
his gold medals.
He's got to do something about that. It's distracting.
So next we get TNA versus the Dudley Boys, and this one goes 11 minutes and 6 seconds.
That one's shorter than the second match.
Yeah.
Oh gee, yeah. This one, I don't know. It was fine. This was what does that include? All the after bell shenanigans?
No, this would be just bell to bell. So everything was about 15 minutes. But this is definitely an improvement for TNA over their head cheese WrestleMania match.
Yeah. Dudley Boys is a big upgrade.
Yeah,
for sure.
That helps. And they were, in fairness, they had only been teaming for 2 weeks at this point. They're kind of they're meshing as a team. They're not great, but they're getting it. They're at least getting like double team moves and stuff together.
Yeah, and they're with Trish, who's still kind of insinuating all the wood and everything.
Yeah, and she wears the good outfits for pay-per-view like Deborah used to with the. This is just like the lacy workout gear.
Yeah, she does have like some sort of long coat. Like Deborah always wore like those circus the circus I don't know.
The ringmaster.
Yes, think of the ringmaster blazers. They had like the long tails.
Yeah, it was all
still
sequin.
Super short. Yeah, she's got more of like a Shawn Michaels duster kind
of.
On.
More realistic in my view.
Than a circus ringmaster
with a sequin bikini.
Well, to each their own.
Yeah.
You gotta get more like the behind the scenes of the costume designers. So
the TNA actually wins after Trish causes the distraction.
Right, of course. And then of course you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, then afterwards though the Dudleys do grab her and Bubba puts her through the table.
Yeah, everyone's like,
And Trish goes out on a stretcher, and then as that ambulance pulls off, a lowrider pulls up.
Right.
And it's Eddie Guerrero in
China
in tuxedo. So he's got to get dressed. Luckily, he's got his gear.
Right.
Well, his elbow pad at least in the
trunk. Yes, he's got to get changed for his match. I didn't take any notes for this. Like I kind of remember what happens.
I like this. It's kind of. It's more high flying than the light heavyweight title match. Yeah. Because I mean.
Who was it against again?
I say Rios.
That's right.
And this also marks the debut of Lita.
Yes.
So she ends up being a little bit more important than old S.A. Rios.
Yeah, for Lita.
So Eddie is still kind of wrestling like a heel, even though he's getting chaired, and ends up winning pretty cleanly, though. Hits a swinging neck breaker for the win.
Yeah. Then I remember that. Then for some reason, maybe because it's 2000, it's a pay-per-view. Then Lita rips off.
Lita goes after China's
entire dress off.
Her evening gown, yes.
Yeah, her evening gown for prom, which doesn't really explain. It doesn't really have an explanation. I'm also kind of surprised Eddie didn't try and cover her or something.
No,
he was like, oh
yeah. Seeing her shake it, Mamacita.
Yeah. Yes, and she just leaves this.
Yeah, she's like,
in
fine.
Her bra and panties. Yeah, she's like, whatever. Yeah, this is a better, lighter version of China.
Yeah, definitely. A less aggressive version there.
Yeah. But Lita's around for a while, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pretty much, I think, at least the next 6 years. Okay. And then she's come back plenty of times also.
Gotcha.
And then
the Chris's.
Yes, so the Canadian Chris's, Chris Benoit versus Chris Jericho for the Intercontinental title. Mm-hmm. And Chris Benoit actually wins by disqualification.
Yeah, why did Jericho get disqualified?
Because he as Benoit dove off the top, he held up the title belt, so Benoit smashed the belt. So it's basically like he hit him with the belt.
Gotcha.
So that's
a DQ thing that happens all the time.
Yeah, but the ref sees it.
That's true. The ref's never looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
And the ref had been knocked down, but
right. But if the ref sees it, then that's
he was coming to and saw it. So that's what
problem.
was the confusion.
Okay. JR is very angry.
Yes.
And then Jericho puts the ref in a submission move.
Yeah, and it's the usual hard-hitting match between these two, but don't want to get into too much praise on it. So just Jericho, though, is definitely he is now like the number 2 face in the company.
Yeah
he's definitely just behind The Rock.
Yeah.
Because even like when they had the lumberjack match, they were like both. It wasn't like they were booing Jericho; they were both getting cheered
really over. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but that was a good one. And then the main event, which is The Rock versus Triple H. Once again, McMahons are all over this. Shane's the referee.
Shane's the guest ref. Yeah.
Vince and Stephanie walk out with Triple H. They make a big deal like since Steve Austin's not going to come. When obviously he's coming because Deborah's there.
Well, also
he's there. Yeah. Also, yeah.
Steve Austin always shows up late. He's never there on time. And the week before on SmackDown, he had blown up the DX bus.
That's right.
So he obviously was
around.
Interested in this.
Right. And he doesn't have to be there right at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, but I know they're manufacturing drama.
Right.
For the sake of story. But it's feeling a little kind of the beats a little bit more at this point.
Yeah. No one. If it had ended with just a rock bottom out of nowhere, everyone would have been pretty shocked.
It's like when Travis.
Kind of like at WrestleMania this year when Travis Scott comes out without The Rock.
Say that. It's like if Travis Scott shows up and The Rock doesn't. That's what it would be like.
Yep, it sure is.
Deborah was there. But
what kind of dumb company would do that?
Don't know.
Yeah, glad I don't own stock with that company. But this is the quintessential WWF main event brawl. They go out into the crowd around the ringside.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Table where he gives a rock bottom to both Triple H and Shane McMahon, which ended up injuring Triple H for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the rest of the match, you could see he's holding his elbow.
Yeah, that's true. And then Vince wants another ref to come out, and then it's Briscoe and Patterson.
Yes,
of course.
The Stooges are.
They've been out gone for a while.
Yeah, well, they were kind of on the outs because they had been with Vince when he turned good, but then they were against Vince when he revealed he was the higher power. So they had the Stooges matches,
right?
But that's they kind of been on the outside for a while now. But now they wanted back in with Vince, so
gotcha. So
they brought him some coffee earlier in the night.
Oh, that's right. So back to being his cronies.
Yeah.
And then Steve Austin finally
comes out with his chair and a beer gut and just starts laying out people with chair shots.
Right. Yeah. Because where was he in his recovery at this point?
This was 3 months after the neck surgery.
Okay.
So I think he had only taken the neck brace off 2 weeks earlier.
Gotcha.
And as soon as he did that, they were all right, you're coming to Backlash.
Yeah, right.
And this is almost if things were better time-wise, this should have been the WrestleMania main event.
Oh, yeah.
This is the full, empty all the barrels, everyone comes out, everyone gets involved.
Right.
But I think they were so hot, they knew WrestleMania was going to sell, so they just had, here's a WrestleMania main event, so buy Backlash now also.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, when you were watching this in 2000, did you think Steve Austin was coming?
Yeah.
I
knew he was coming.
Yeah.
I didn't know, because they were very vague on how far he was from coming back, so that was the only thing I didn't know if, he got involved both
physically or just kind of he gave chair shots, but no one really...
No, he didn't even give a stunner, so there was no falling on his ass.
Yeah, right. So... And the Rock ends up winning after all of this melee.
Steve Austin goes and pulls in the Rock DX Express.
Oh, that's right.
To show that he has bested them.
Yeah, but you're right. It's just empty all the barrels. That's a good way to describe it. It's a lot happens.
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah, and then Linda comes out, once again slaps Stephanie.
Right.
And then makes rehires Earl Hebner, who had been fired, and he makes the 3 count for The Rock to
That's right.
end that match.
Yeah. This is starting to feel like deja vu. I feel like the McMahons are... They don't have a heel, they just have Vince McMahon be like, okay, now you're going to be our bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, Triple H is their
yeah.
guy, I guess, but yeah, it does kind of feel like that.
It's like kind of their go-to.
Yeah, it's definitely their default.
Gotcha.
So then we did watch a little bit afterwards.
There was a good one of the 24/7 rules.
Yes. So then SmackDown after Backlash, it started with an IC title match, and Chris Jericho actually wins against Chris Benoit, so new champ.
Yep.
This is Jericho's second IC title, or third actual IC title, right?
Yeah, as you said, the third one.
So yeah, and it's a quick, 7-minute TV match, but it's pretty good. It gets the point across.
Yeah, I just like that. It's just Chris Benoit is very oddly proportioned.
Yes,
I can't
fireplace.
Yes, odd little man. And then
more ways than one.
Yeah, Hardcore Holly and Kurt Angle are feuding. They have a match. I just made.
They just kind of had a match.
Yeah, but then Hardcore Holly,
Crash Holly,
who's under 24/7 rules, happens to come upon a little carnival backstage.
Yeah, there's a basketball net that he shoots at and totally airballs the basket, and then there just happens to be a bounce house there.
Well, yeah, you got to bounce. There's a bounce house.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to get some stress off. He's always defending that hardcore title.
Well, yeah, then Dean Malenko jumps in.
Dean Malenko attacks him in the
bouncy house.
That'd be
hard to maneuver. It'd be hard to get this.
I think they were kind of just doing what every 12-year-old was doing in 2000 and just doing big exhaust.
Yeah, big flops. Yeah.
Big flops and slamming each other.
What you were doing?
Yes, what most people were doing.
You mean what you were doing?
Yeah, but most people were doing
and
that.
Other people too, but also you.
In bounce houses at that time? Yeah.
Well, you were 14. I don't think you were really in too many bounce houses, were you?
Oh, graduation parties and stuff, yeah.
For high school, yeah? Bounce houses for high schoolers?
No, I was...
Oh, eighth grade. Okay, all right, well.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So he had to defend that. And then The Rock... then there was a match with The Rock and Earl Hebner versus Triple H, X-Pac, and Road Dogg. So,
of course. Makes perfect sense,
so
doesn't
odd.
it?
And they made a big deal because he's from Richmond. It's in Richmond and yada, yada, yada. And he looks so weird, in a Goofy Rock t-shirt. So he took some bumps eventually.
Yeah, the match itself...
his lips split open. He bled.
Yeah, I think that was a blood capsule. Because the blood, your lips do not bleed like that. And they say after 2 punches to the face, Michael Cole says it might be internal bleeding. What? What is going on with Earl Hebner?
It's how scientists will watch movies and be like, oh, I'll be physical possibilities. I feel like medical people could watch wrestling and be like,
oh, I don't think you have to be a medical person to know that.
That's true. But you know what I mean.
Ken Shamrock had internal bleeding for 4 weeks in a row, and they never worried about it.
Never figured it out.
All he had to do was put some rip tape up, and that fixed it right up.
Yeah, he stops the bleeding.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, and then The Rock wins, but yeah, the Earl Hebner eventually does get some bumps.
Yeah, and we get the big faction of the Dudleys, Rikishi.
That's right. Rikishi runs out.
Jericho's out, all of them staring down DX and ready to fight. And Rikishi gets a stink face on Pat Patterson.
Right, that's right.
Briscoe gets put through a table to kind of...
Oh, yeah. It's very much getting Super Friends vibes.
Yeah, well, they kind of needed that because The Rock was going to be away for 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Filming the Mummy Returns, I think. That would have been Mummy Returns. So
did that come out in
2001. Then.
So he already had an acting career?
This was his first thing. This is what started it all.
Really?
Yeah. This is his Matthew McConaughey shirtless in Unsolved Mysteries. His big break.
That's a deep cut. I'm looking at his IMDb page.
Yeah, it came out in 2001. Scorpion King or Mummy Returns.
Known for upcoming. Wow, his previous is 103.
Yeah,
he's been on 100. He's been on 293 episodes of Raw. don't know if you really... Well, whatever.
I mean...
I guess.
Yeah.
See all. Wow. There's a lot of scrolling. Jeez.
Because it also counts like all
You're right. Like this, the first non-ret. Oh, hey, he was on an episode of that 70s show.
Oh yeah, the net. The show about the computer.
Huh.
The computer movie about that lady from the bus.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm kind of interested to see him on that 70s show. Well, he
plays as Dwayne Johnson.
Okay.
His dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm trying to find the first thing that's like a non...
There it is. The Mummy
Returns. Yep.
Yeah.
And then Long Shot. The Scorpion King. Oh, he's Mugger in the Long Shot. What does that mean?
He played a mugger.
Oh. A 20-something tennis instructor / gigolo gets embroiled in a scheme. This sounds really weird. Well, it only has 2.6 out of 10.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad movie.
Yes, it does. Kind of intrigued, though. A tennis / gigolo. But yeah, I think he had a pretty minor... Gilbert Gottfried's in it. Oh, and that old lady from Everything.
Oh.
The hot lady.
Babka.
That's not the... Is it the Babka lady?
Not Babka, Bosco.
Bosco, yes.
Bosco.
Yeah. All right, well... This is not a visual podcast. Just
right.
Timberlake's in it, too.
Oh, wow. They got all the stars.
There's 99 people in this movie? Oh, my gosh.
So, Long Shot. Watch it, folks.
Yeah, watch it and let me know if I should watch it. A 20-something tennis instructor / gigolo gets embroiled in a scheme involving seduction and insider trading.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah, that's something. Okay.
So,
closing that browser and opening my wrestling notes. Okay.
So they have the Super Friends ready to step up against DX. Wow.
But DX is very diminished.
Yeah, but
it's a little.
Well, DX and their like
and
they'll draft out the Radicals, Kurt Angle.
Gotcha.
So top 2 matches here.
This one's a little bit of a stretch. Probably the hardcore 6-pack. Very fun, just because the Hardys are like crazy. I will admit I don't remember a lot of the Eddie Guerrero one. I'm sure it was very good. I don't want to pick the final.
Really? I think that's definitely my pick. That's like one of my favorite matches ever.
Oh, really? Why?
Because it's just...
Because of all that stuff?
It's all that. It's like it's like the Raw where Foley wins the belt, kind of.
Gotcha.
Like the same type of like craziness that works real well.
Yeah, maybe it's just like a stupid rule I've made for myself. Like I can't always pick the last match. I guess they do always say
that's usually
the point.
Yeah.
All right, you can put the main event for me too.
It should be the best match usually.
That's true.
Or one of the best matches.
You can put that one for me. What's your second favorite?
I'm probably gonna say. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chris. Canadian Chris's.
Canadian Chris's.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good match.
It is. They're very evenly matched. I feel like that's a good matchup. But overall, I'm definitely noticing this shift. Because what did we start? Because we just started doing the years, a couple of years.
98 was it? Our first.
We did 97. 98. We did 98 first.
98 was the first.
Okay, it's definitely changed quite a bit since then.
Definitely.
I'm starting to notice the shift. I guess like with Steve Austin gone, Generation X is diminished. I mean,
the matches are definitely getting longer for the most part.
Yeah.
Like it's
the
not
ladders and chairs.
And it's not just longer matches. It's all the matches are going to go at least 7 or 8 minutes now.
Okay.
Where like before there'd be 3-minute Jeff Jarrett matches for no reason.
Yeah, I want to pull up. What was the? I was going to say Jeff Jarrett was always like the first one. So the equivalent in 1998 would have been Unforgiven.
Yeah.
That's when Ken Shamrock was still around. Was Steve Blackman around?
Yeah. That was the one where Undertaker and Kane fight in the fire.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean in 2000 is Steve Blackman.
Right? He's around, but not.
Oh, the Inferno match. That's right.
So you gave this. We both gave that a 6.
Gave that one a
Last
6.
year's Backlash, you gave a 6.5 and a 7. That had Austin Rock again.
Okay, yeah, I'll give this a 6.5. It's fine. I do like.
I'm going 9 here.
Wow.
I think this is like one of the best off-month pay-per-views.
Really?
Yep. I think everything. The only bad thing is the Boss Man.
That's true. That's definitely a low point.
Acolytes match, and even that's quick at least. Well, no, it's not quick. It's that maybe, yeah.
I said higher standards.
I think I got to go to 8.5 just thinking about that Boss Man
That's
APA match. Yeah, but everything else hits, I think, pretty well. So it's not like there's one great match, but each match is good enough that they build
very
off
much
each
like
other.
an average. It's very tight around the mean.
Right, yeah.
Except for the big boss one that's definitely below the mean.
Yeah, the Boss Man is, if he's not dragging people on coffins anymore, he's kind of towards the end of his rope, I think.
Yeah, is he around for much longer?
No, he is not.
I don't think so. All right, well, we got some more old DX people to look forward to in the summer months.
Yep.
What's the next one?
So next is Judgment Day. That was May of 2000.
Okay.
Oh, we did see a creepy promo about it.
Oh, yeah. What was that about?
It was just like
girls
a furnace burning and 3 girls playing.
Oh, was it Undertaker coming back?
Maybe. He's someone that's been gone for a while.
Oh, where did he go? Did they explain that one? Or
Well,
he just kind of
sometimes just goes to his nether
He goes to the underworld.
ranges. Yeah, he said the underworld. He's gone to the underworld a few times.
Did he go to Vader's ice
Castle Fairy? Maybe. He had a chateau there. Vader set him up with someone that has...
Yeah, Vader, he's the same realtor that
Yeah.
Vader used.
Exactly. He had to take the same helicopter with Sting.
Right. Is Sting still in WCW at this point or no?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's there till the end.
Wow.
He's the very end.
Aw. He still like pops up every once in a while, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's officially retired, but like he'll show up in AEW every once in a while, like to sell tickets and stuff.
Gotcha. AEW.
The ambassador role, as it were.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what they call it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right, well, we were more excited about this one than I was.
I guess so. Well, but we'll see. So, yeah, Judgment Day, we don't know what the big matches are yet, but we'll find out soon.
Have they announced any of them?
Not
we want to lead up?
what we saw.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of obvious it's going to be something with The Rock and Triple H.
Right.
But
they'll continue to...
I think they might have even said that Triple H was going to get his rematch at the pay-per-view, but he gets to pick the stipulations.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, looking forward to it.
Yep. All right.
All
we'll
right.
see you next time.
Bye.